So you want to make $15,000 to $20,000 online, but you have no idea how. You've maybe tried day trading, drop shipping, crypto, copywriting, and all these things that just kind of waste your time. And you saw that remote sales is actually really to actually get started and to make your first money online. So I'll briefly go over in today's video on how to actually get started, what remote sales actually is, and how you can be the best remote salesman possible. So with that being said, what is remote sales in the first place? All it really is basically what your job is to hop on your laptop, phone, iPad, whatever. And basically your job as a remote salesman is to get in contact with these leads, close them, make money. It's pretty simple, and I'll kind of break it down even more. So there's kind of three pillars when it comes to remote salesmen. We have setters, closers, and sales managers. Now, the hardest job, of course, is being a setter. And what the job of the setter is to basically call the leads in the pipeline that haven't already booked meetings with the closers. And all of these people in the pipeline are pretty warm. They already want to kind of buy, or maybe they're interested. And then your job as a setter is to just push them over the edge to actually get on a call with the closer to actually be closed. So in turn, you make money, the closer makes money, sales manager makes money, and the influencer makes money. So, I mean, it's a very simple process. As a setter, though, you do have to make a lot of input in order to get just a little bit of output, which is your income. So maybe making around 100 to 300 calls a day is the usual for a setter. And they either do calls, emails, text to get into contact with people in the pipeline. And these people can sometimes be DQs, people who just were interested in getting some more information, time wasters. It could be very gruesome and hard to do and kind of annoying, to be honest. But once you find a system and start working smarter instead of harder, you can actually go through this pipeline a lot smarter and find the ones that actually really wanted to buy. They have money, but they just didn't book a call for whatever reason. And those are the easiest people to call as a setter, and it'll be the easiest way to increase your income. Now, we're pretty much done with setters. We'll go ahead and move on to closers. So the job of a closer is a lot easier than being a setter, and that's what I currently do right now to make $15,000 to $20,000 a month. And with a closer's job, all they really do is they have a Google Calendar of calls that have been booked and calls that setters booked for you. And these calls are usually all qualified leads who do want to buy. And the only reason they're not buying straight from the influencer is because they're maybe holding themselves back. Or maybe the influencer is kind of gatekeeping the price to kind of keep it private. So when you hop on these calls, the main job of the closer is to find what their problems are, what their goals are, what's actually holding them back, why they're seeking mentorship in the first place, and then actually solving those problems with the influencer's product or mentorship. And then after they're able to get onboarded and pay for it, that's where you make your money. Usually it's around 10 to 15% commission. So if it's a $6,000 package, guess what? You made yourself a quick $600. And these calls as a closer usually last from 30 minutes to an hour. Anytime it goes over, that means you just did not go deep enough into the discovery. And we'll go ahead and move on from a closer to the sales manager. So basically the job of a sales manager is basically pointless. They're really overpaid as well, but I am looking to be a sales manager in the future. But what their job is to just train, manage, and basically keep the sales team kind of on track to the goals that the influencer has. And basically they just kind of hop on weekly trainings with you, training you up. Even if you're the best closer, the sales manager is still above you, so he can kind of just do whatever he wants, and he makes a lot more money than the closer. But I mean, those are just the three pillars of being a remote salesman. So to actually get started with getting into remote sales, it's not that hard as people make it out to be. Just everyone kind of goes into the same boat, creating Upwork, LinkedIn, Instagram DMs, and thinking that they'll find an offer very easy. But the reality is that every single person does these things, so it's very hard to stand out. So to actually stand out and to find a remote offer very easily, you just have to stand out from these people that are doing everything that everyone else is doing. Now to stand out, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is find kind of ways to work around the system to get in touch with either the influencer, sales manager, one of the closers, or an appointment setter, and find out how you can get an inside scoop and inside information on if there's any openings and if you can fill those openings. Now to do this, it is top secret, and people inside our network actually teach this, but we'll be getting to that later on. But remote sales did really change my life, to be honest. Like when I first came to Thailand, I was already an appointment setter, but it was for a really shit offer, and I made literally $0 in 1 to 2 months. And it was really discouraging, and I thought I was going to have to give up and maybe do like copywriting or YouTube editing or something like that. But I finally broke through the ice and was able to find a really solid offer and was able to have a stable income as an appointment setter that was able to bring me cash flow to pay for my apartment, food, and lifestyle. And after around 4 to 5 months of being a setter for this really solid offer, I felt like it was time for me to actually move into remote closing, because as a setter, I started closing deals on my own without even kind of knowing how to close. But it was just, I feel like it was just kind of natural, because I saw that when I closed the deal, I got 10% of the deal closed instead of the 5% and $20 that you usually got as a setter, which is pretty common commission for like setter-based roles. So once I kind of was able to see like that path of like increased income as a remote closer, I knew it was time for me to level up as a setter into a remote closer. So when I actually moved into remote closing, it was pretty unique on how I actually got started, because usually to be a remote closer for a really good offer, you need some closing experience. But I kind of just finessed my way into remote closing, and how I did that was one of my friends were able to find an offer, and he was about to go into it, but he had a friend who had his own offer, so he just moved on into his friend's offer, and I saw the opening in that one offer. So what I basically did is I asked my friend to get me in contact with the sales manager on this offer. Got in contact, sounded like a G. I told him I was already closing deals on this other offer, which I wasn't lying. I was already closing deals as a setter. And I guess I sounded G enough, so he didn't even have an interview or anything like that. He just let me on as a closer. And I was able to prove myself by being one of the top closers in the first month. And basically, what happened after that month was over, I was doing really good numbers. The sales manager did something bad, got fired, and a new sales manager came on and tried to fire a lot of the people on the offer, including me, for whatever reason, even though I was doing really good numbers. But basically what I did after that is I had a good talk with that sales manager and told him, look, man, I've been closing really good numbers. Let me set my own appointments and close some deals myself to prove to you that I'm actually a go-to closer. And he agreed, because it wasn't going to hurt the company and it would only bring them more money. So he gave me a 7-week trial to actually prove myself that I was a good closer. And what I did during those 7 days is I made him and all the other closers look like retards, and became top closer on that offer, and still am to this day. But when you're able to get to the top of anything in life, you can't put your foot on the gas, but what you actually need to do is double down on what you're doing. So that way, when you're at the top, you stay at the top for a long period of time. And once you become a remote closer, you're never gonna wanna go back to setting, because the sales manager, before he tried to kick me off, he's like, look, man, you could be a really good setter. And I was like, nah, I can't be a setter anymore. I felt what closing is like. I've seen what the money is like. I'm staying as a closer, whether you like it or not. So I stayed on a closer, reclaimed my spot, reclaimed the offer, and that's basically where we are now. It's already been 2 or 3 months since then, so I became really good friends with the sales manager, and we gained a lot of respect for each other, and things are going really well. But if you actually want to start training to become a remote closer, setter, or actually get into remote sales, you can DM me on Instagram, and I'll be able to kind of connect you and kind of teach you myself on how to actually get started, and I'll train you up, give you a few scripts, and actually show you what it's like to actually fully delve into remote sales. And if you're planning on living abroad, moving out of your parents' house, and you want to live wherever you want to live, remote sales is definitely the best way to actually do that. So just DM me on Instagram. We'll be able to get you started and get things rolling, and we'll get you to where you want to be, so that way you can live and work wherever you want in the world, and that way you'll be free to do and live on your own terms. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys got some valid information on remote sales. I hope it interests you, and hopefully you move on from copywriting and working that 9 to 5 to actually living on your own terms, making money wherever you want. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.